Kwity. He's going straight back. A spraying target is setting up. Goes deep into the right corner, deep downfield. Tucker Ferguson. Touchdown! The Giants have it. Tucker Ferguson deep in the end zone for a touchdown. And the Giants are out in front now, 41-24.
Well, hello. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. Welcome to the Gridiron. Before we get started, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone out there who's been checking out my videos. Thank you. If you can maybe give this video a thumbs up or possibly leave a comment below or maybe share this video, it would mean so much to me. But just, anyway, at least thank you so much for just taking time out of your day to check out this video. Thank you. As of right now, of course, we're only halfway through the season and all, and things are certainly going to probably change. But right now, the Giants got pick number 6 and pick number 8 in the 2022 NFL Draft. Actually, I think the Jets got 2 in the top 10. The Eagles got 2 in the top 10. The Giants got 2 in the top 10. Actually, the Eagles got 3 in the top 15. I think because the Colts keep winning that they're number 1 from Carson Wentz. That one keeps getting farther and farther back, or farther and farther away from number 1. And they used to have like 3 in the top 10. I think, but the Colts just keep winning. So it is what it is. Got a long way to go anyway. But so I've seen a bunch of mock drafts. Now of course now you got still got the Bears. They got their games to play. You got the Giants. They got their games to play. Now the Bears, they got to play the Ravens. Okay. You got to play at Detroit. You kind of get the feeling sooner or later Detroit's had some crappy luck. Really crappy luck, okay? Sooner or later you figured Detroit's going to, the football gods upstairs are going to look down and just, throw them a bone. Give them at least one win, So, the Bears playing in Detroit. All right. Then the Bears got to play the Cardinals, and if they get Kyler Murray back, maybe they'll be a good team again. Then they got to play at Green Bay, and Aaron Rodgers owns the Bears. Okay. Then they have to play the Vikings. Then they got to play in Seattle. That'll be a tough one. Then they got to play the Giants. Okay. And then the Bears finish up their season in Minnesota. And then Minnesota's one of those up and down teams. One time they look good. I mean, they were beating the Ravens. I think it was like 24-10. They were in Baltimore, in fourth quarter, and then of course they wound up, losing the game. But the Vikings, a little up and down. Okay, I don't think they're making the playoffs enough, but they're certainly a decent team. Nothing super spectacular, but the Bears don't have a real easy schedule. Right now they're 3-6. I'm looking at maybe possibly 4-4, which would put them at, what would that be, 7-10. Now last year, I think picks 10, 11, and 12 were like 6-10. Okay, in the draft. So if you're 7-10, right, that would put you maybe like around somewhere close in the same area. Because if you figure if you're 8-9 or 9-8, you're going to be around 16. Okay, so if you're 7-10, you're looking at maybe picks number 11, 12, maybe 13, somewhere around there. Okay, so as I said, 4-4 maybe at the best. Okay, then we have the Giants. Obviously, the Giants are 3-6. Right, the Giants got to play obviously at the Bucks. Then they got to play the Eagles. Then they got to play at Miami. Right, then they got to play at the Chargers. Then they get the Cowboys at home. Then they got to play at Philly. And then they got to play at Chicago. And then they got the Washington football team. All right, now, same thing here. The Giants went 5-3 last year, the last 8 games. Can they do that this year? Yeah. If things fall in place, sure. If they get some guys back, Andrew Thomas comes back, and all, they can stay somewhat healthy. Sure, I can see 5-3. Could they be 4-4? Yeah, I can see that. Could they be 3-5? Yep, I can see that. Yeah, I can see a lot. Okay, but let's just be safe. Just say 4-4. Okay. Do I want them to go to the playoffs? Hell yeah. Do I want them to win the last 8 games? Absolutely. But just trying to talk sensibly here. I just say 4-4. Okay, same thing to be 7-10. Now, I mean, they're going to play the Eagles twice. They haven't beaten the Eagles 2 times since 2007. All right, so what are the chances of them beating the Eagles twice? Eagles are 4-6, right? You know, not that they're all world beaters, but I mean, you know, the Eagles are, you know, playing okay. You know, so I mean, it's gonna be not gonna be easy for the Giants to beat the Eagles twice. Then they got to play the Washington football team. Right, the Giants have done well against Washington in the past, and they did beat Washington earlier, except the refs blew the call. Then the Giants got to play at Chicago. Chicago's not a world beater. They got to play at Miami. Miami's not a world beater either. Okay, you know, so the Giants certainly have some winnable games. So I said, so let's just say 4-4. They'd be 7-10. Okay, so you figured, you know, maybe at that rate they'd wind up with picks maybe, you know, 10-12, or maybe 11-13, or maybe 12-14, somewhere around there. But right now, you know, they're picked 6-8, right, which is very, very good. They got 2 picks in the first round. Obviously, they got a second rounder, and they got 2 in the third round. So basically, they got, at the rate they got right now, I think they have 5 of the top 72 picks, or 5 out of the top 73 picks, something like that. So, you know, you can do some nice damage with 5 picks in the top, you know, in the top 73. You can do some damage, right? Now, as I said, I've seen a bunch of, mock drafts and all and everything. What I would like to see, obviously, is, you know, if we're going to keep Daniel Jones, okay, let's not go after no shiny toys or anything like that, okay? And I don't know if Dave Gettleman's going to be here or not, all right? But what I would like to see, okay, is, you got your 3 defensive linemen, and then you got your 2 edge rushers, right? So the 3 and the 2, so you got 5 guys there, all right? So between those 5 guys and the 5 offensive linemen, that's 10 guys, okay? Out of these first picks in the first round is 2. It has to be amongst those 10. You see, there has to be somebody, you know, on the defensive front or on the offensive line. Nothing, no wide receiver, no freaking running back. We're going to keep Daniel Jones, okay? Ain't worried about no quarterback. You know, I know it hurt not to maybe get a good linebacker. You know, although I've seen Nakobe Dean be mocked to the Giants in a couple drafts. I mean, he's very good. Apparently, you know, I didn't see him earlier on at all. I mean, you know, in the beginning of the season, but apparently his stock keeps rising. I mean, obviously his Georgia keeps rising. Georgia's got a great defense, boy, I'll tell you. But Nakobe Dean, very fast and very good in coverage. Okay, and that's something the Giants have been lacking. Okay, so that somebody like that. Okay, if you can get somebody who's got some speed, all right, maybe go sideline to sideline and I can do some coverage. I can accept that, okay. But I mean, other than that, I mean, I said get like an edge rusher or 1 of the 3 down linemen. Now the thing is with the defensive linemen, I mean, in any mock whatsoever I've seen, I haven't seen anybody, you know, I mean, like no Dexter Lawrence and you know nobody like a Leonard Williams, nobody like that, okay. So for them to take a defensive lineman, right, in the top. You know, in their the 2 first round picks they got, it doesn't look like that's going to happen. So it's looking more like an edge or offensive line. Okay, so let me just go over the offense first. Okay, so I keep seeing Tyler Linderbaum. All right, the center from Iowa. All right, now he's by Pro Football Focus. Just throw it out there. Okay, he is the number 1 graded offensive lineman in the country. Period. He graded out a 94.5. His run blocking grade is a 95.5. Okay, when you got and I've seen him, you know, mocked to the Giants in quite a few drafts. Okay, when you got a center, okay, mocked like in the top, Giants are 8, like the top 8. There's something special going on there. Okay, it's almost like when you go back to 2018. Okay, and the Giants took Saquon Well, they could have had Quentin Nelson, right? Colts took him, Quentin Nelson at number 6. I mean, all the indications were saying Quentin Nelson is the real deal. There's, you can't miss, okay? But Gettleman went with the shiny object, the shiny toy, okay? But could you imagine if we had Andrew Thomas and then Quentin Nelson, and then if he drafted like Tyler Linderbaum, because Nick Gates is hurt. You don't know if he's going to come back. If he does come back, he's going to be as good as he was before. You have no idea. And do you want to gamble on that? Oh, yeah, I'm sure he'll come back. It'll be just, well, what if he's not? Okay? Can you imagine if we had Andrew Thomas, Quentin Nelson, we drafted Tyler Linderbaum, okay, the center, and then our second number 1 pick, we drafted another offensive lineman, like a tackle, because Solder's gone, and if Parrott's not the answer, we drafted another. Could you imagine that offensive line? Holy cow. Could you imagine Daniel Jones snapping back the pass, just standing back there for like a half an hour? Could you imagine the time he might have to pass? See, this is when something like this is when you don't need Saquon. I know, I hate saying that. I love Saquon. I hope he's with the Giants forever. But a little common sense here. You don't need somebody like him. It's great when he blows erupts for an 80-yard touchdown. That is unbelievable. When he jumps over somebody, that's unbelievable. All that stuff. But you don't need him. We got Devontae Booker for what, 2 years, $5.5 million, I think it is. Behind the offensive line the Giants have right now, Devontae Booker back-to-back, games of over 100 yards total offense, back-to-back games. That's pretty impressive. You don't need a Saquon Barkley. What I would like to do, and this would be me. It's like, let's fix the frickin' offensive line. Okay, let's get some guys, draft some guys, get them in there, and let's fix the offensive line. With Gettleman, it's like, we didn't draft anybody in the offensive line. It's past draft. We're pretty comfortable with the guys. Yeah, how's that working out for you now? It's like you let Kevin Zeitler go, all right, and you don't draft anybody. We're pretty comfortable. You seriously? So that's the way it usually works out, especially with Gettleman, is you might draft an offensive guy, then he would draft a defensive guy. Well, you might let Will Hernandez go because you may not be able to sign him because you may not have the cap room. Okay, so you're gonna let somebody go, and then maybe you'll draft somebody. So you're taking one step forward with drafting somebody, then you're taking one step back by letting Will Hernandez go. And then Nick Gates comes back, and he may not be 100%. He may not be able to perform it as well as he was. So where are you at? You're just as bad maybe as you were before, if not maybe worse. Right? Fix the frickin' offensive line. Draft 2 guys in the first round. Put them on there, and because you got Shane Lemieux coming back, and you got Andrew Thomas. If you get Linderbaum, if you get like maybe another offensive tackle, you might be good to go for years to come. And you won't have to hear Giants have to fix the offensive line. You don't have to hear that, And there's the Giants scouted this past weekend. They went to the Vanderbilt Kentucky game, and they went to the Ole Miss Texas A&M game. Okay, so now why is that kind of? There's a bunch of guys in there. All both teams have all 4 teams have some decent players in there. But Kenyon Green, okay, the offensive lineman from Texas A&M. Okay, I've seen him mocked to the Giants. He's pretty special. Okay, then you got there's the one guy I see mocked to the Giants quite a bit is the offensive lineman Ikem Ekwonu. Okay, I hope I said that right. He's from NC State. All right, his overall grade is a 92.7. His run blocking grade is a 94.3. All right, so he's pretty special. All right, he's a big dude too. All right, then you got Darian Kennard. He's an offensive tackle from Kentucky. That's probably one of the reasons why the Giant scouts went to the Vanderbilt Kentucky game. All right, he's 6'5", 345 pounds. He's grading at at a 90.7. His run blocking grade is a 90.9. His pass blocking grade is an 86.5. Okay, he's coming from Kentucky, but they do play some quality opponents. Okay, so that's somebody you want to keep an eye on too. I mean, if you got maybe Andrew Thomas, if Isaiah Wilson doesn't work out, you can have him. I mean, or even if you got, I'm saying, if you got Isaiah Wilson, if you can draft Kennard and have Andrew Thomas, those 4 tackles, I mean, oh my God, whoa, oh my goodness, right? And maybe Linderbaum as a center, and you got Shane Lemieux maybe as your guard. I mean, you could start the beginnings of a pretty special offensive line. Then, of course, in this Evan Neal, I keep seeing him mocked. He's the offensive tackle out of Alabama, but I see him being mocked like in the top 5 quite a bit. I mean, anything can happen. He can always bounce, be in the top 10. But all the mock drafts I'm seeing is he's in the top 5. And I don't know if the Giants lost all of their games. I don't even know if they'd still be able to go in the top 5, or they maybe top 4 or 5. But they'd have to lose the rest of their games. I don't see that happening at all. Then there's Charles Cross. Okay, I've seen him. He's an offensive tackle from Mississippi State. He's 6'5", 310 pounds. Okay, he is 500 pass blocking attempts so far. He's only allowed 10 pressures. So out of every 50 pass attempts, he's allowed 1 pressure. Pretty special. Okay, his Pro Football Focus grade is an 85.4. Run blocking grade is an 84.5. His pass blocking grade 85.5. He's pretty special too. So a lot of what I'm seeing is their offensive tackles. Now, as far as like an offensive guard, I haven't really seen anybody up that high. Of course, you can always draft a tackle and maybe move him into a guard if you think you can. The only one I've seen in the interior line for the most part would be the Tyler Linderbaum. But being a center, you put somebody up that high in the top 10, the guy is special. And I would, if he's there, I would not hesitate to pull the trigger on him. Put him at the center, and you're good to go you got Andrew Thomas, and you got him, all right? And you're good to go for years to come. So, I would double down on the offensive line without question in the first round, but it is what it is. Now we go over to the defensive side, okay? Now, as I said, Nakobe Dean, the linebacker from Georgia, I'm starting to see more and more of him, especially even if he's not to the Giants, I'm seeing more and more of him, at least in the top 10. His stock just keeps rising. So if the Giants were to get somebody like him who can cover, okay, he can go sideline to sideline, I'm fine with that. If you draft an offensive lineman and him, if you put him next to Martinez, okay, I have no problem with that, all right? Then you got, now I don't know if he's going to get to the Giants. Maybe if the Giants were picking 6, maybe it would be Kyle Hamilton, the safety from Notre Dame. Now, apparently he's nursing like a knee injury, all right? So you don't know if he's going to be coming back at all this season. I mean, he might be trying to just protect himself because he's going to be in the draft. I see a lot of times he's being picked in the top 5, so he may not even get to number 6. I mean, it would be nice to draft somebody like that. I mean, because, Logan Ryan's not going to be around forever. I mean, if you had Hamilton and if you had McKinney, your 2 safeties, that would be fantastic. I think as long as you got Logan Ryan and McKinney for at least another year or so, whatever, and you got, Julian Love, just ride those guys out. Let's build up that front. You got 5 picks in the top 70, 75. Let's fortify those front 2 lines here. Do the best we can. Then of course, you got Thibodeau from Oregon, the edge rusher. Almost every mock draft, I say the guy's coming off pretty much number 1. Now, if the Giants lost every one of their games the rest of the season, they're still not going to be number 1. If the Bears lost, there's no way that they're going to be that far down to draft Thibodeau. That's not happening. The Lions, I think the Lions will maybe win a game, but they haven't won a game yet, all right? Then you got the Texans. The Texans, week 1, beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm like, oh, baby, the Texans are good. They don't need Deshaun Watson. They just beat the Jaguars. Here we go. And they've lost every game since. So pretty much going to be like a 2-team race between the Texans and the the Lions. Now, the Texans could use a quarterback. The Lions, I mean, I'm not too sold on Jared Goff, but the Lions need a lot. So do the Texans. The best thing would be in their interest would be, especially if the Lions had Goff, would be to trade that. If somebody wants to move up, trade that pick, move back, grab some more draft picks because you need a lot of help. So that would be my answer to that solution. But anyway, if the Lions are drafting one, or I mean, he's going in the top 2 or 3 or whatever. So I don't think the Giants have a chance in heck of grabbing Thibodeau. I've seen Aiden Hutchinson, the edge from Michigan, right? 6'6", 265, right? He is the highest graded of all edge rushers by Pro Football Focus at a 93.6. Very good. I've seen him being mocked to the Giants. So, I said if you get somebody in offensive line and grab, if you got Azeez over here, Quincy Roche maybe, and then you grab Hutchinson, somebody else, you can't have too many edge rushers. Gettleman said that, and I'm in full agreement. The more edge rushers you got, the better. So I said, so we can grab an edge rusher. That would be fantastic. Then you got Karlaftis. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. George Karlaftis, the edge rusher from Purdue. He's 6'4", 275. He has 41 pressures in 8 games so far this year. So he's got an 18.1 pressure creation rate. Very high. So he's pretty special. I've seen him being mocked to the Giants quite a bit. Then I've seen the cornerback Darryl Stingley from LSU. I wouldn't even, you got your cornerbacks right now. Don't worry about that. You have other pressing needs. Don't get a cornerback. Then you got Damian Leal. He's an edge from Texas A&M. I've seen him one time mocked to the Giants. Then you got Adoree Jackson. I've seen him in the beginning of the season being mocked to the Giants almost at every draft. I seen Jackson, USC, the edge rusher. Now I'm not seeing that much anymore. So I don't know if his draft stock has fallen or what. But I mean, once again, he's an edge rusher. So I said I have no problem whatsoever at all if we're going to draft an edge rusher. Or I said maybe if Nakobe Dean is that special, okay, if he can go sideline to sideline and do some coverage, I mean, I'm all with that. As I said, other than that, out of 2 edge rushers, get one. We got Azeez, we got Quincy Roche, but get another one. If there's another one there that's that special, grab them. But you gotta get at least one offensive lineman without question. And if it was up to me, I would double down on the offensive line because I'm so sick and tired of hearing the Giants need to fix their offensive line. Draft 2 guys in the first round, 2 offensive linemen, okay, that are worthy of a first round selection, okay. Grab 2 of them and put them in there, all right, and hopefully you won't ever have to hear for a long time anyway. The Giants need to fix their offensive line. Well, as always, guys, thank you so much for taking time any day to check out this video. You guys stay safe out there and go Giants! Woo!